Hello. This question is from Lexi. She says, besides meditation, what are some activities you use to manage flares or fill days where working or thinking is just too hard? So fortunately, deep gratitude that those days are very few and far between nowadays. But right when I was starting my business, I was having a lot of couch days. So I can remember this feeling of like this heaviness of my brain and brain fog. And so first I want to ask you, are you feeling like you need to fill the time? And if that's the case, why do you feel like you need to fill the time? Because there could actually be something a little bit deeper going on here around just like needing to be busy or needing to feel like a productive world citizen, or like you're doing something, or that you're making progress in some direction. So definitely analyze that. Don't overanalyze that, but analyze that to some degree as like, okay, like why do I feel like I need to fill this time, if you're feeling that way. Now, some suggestions on what to do when you're having either a flare or working or thinking is just too hard, like you mentioned, Lexi. Audiobooks. I know for some of my migraine clients that audiobooks, even on some of the bad migraine days, are still manageable and tolerable, and you get to just, whether it's for fun and pleasure and you go on an adventure in the book, or it's just filling your heart or filling your soul, or just allowing you to be immersed in another world, that can be great. Now, I will say, like on their really bad migraine days, the audiobooks are also like a no-go. So depends on all of these. Depends on the extent of the flare you're experiencing, or like how heavy that brain fog is, how heavy the fatigue is, or the overstimulation. So just, these are totally just suggestions. So audiobooks, I always take a salt bath. Always. Not only for its benefits to help me feel better, but also it's just so healing regardless of whether I'm having a flare or not. So I will add lots of Epsom salts and a couple drops of essential oils into the salt and then into the bath. And that's just this really sacred place. Like maybe even light a few non-toxic candles and turn the lights off and put your crystals around you and just let it be really healing. Sound healing. So you can just find sound healings on YouTube and Spotify as well, actually. And use that time to do like some frequency healings through different frequencies that align with the different chakra centers. That can be really good and helpful and healing. Light reading or just pleasure reading, so similar to the audiobook. And it sounds like that might be a little too much for the day you're experiencing or describing in your question, but I'm not likely to pick up like one of my quantum physics books that day, but I am likely to pick up like some badass woman's memoir and just kind of get like lost in her story. So that may work for you. And then I also love going on Netflix, going to the documentary section, and watching documentaries that don't require like tons of thinking, but still allow me to feel like I'm learning something, and I get usually inspired by them as well. Sitting outside, just go outside and take advantage of just like Mother Earth and nature, and just like let all that grounding energy soak into your pores. Red light therapy is another great one. So I've been doing this, which requires me to leave the house right now. So again, if it's too hard to work or think, probably don't want to go to a wherever med spa type place for red light therapy. But I like it, so I actually just ordered one, and so that's going to be one of my new, like, okay, don't feel good, I'm just going to lay in front of this light for an hour. So actually, when I go, it's only 10 minutes long, so an hour might be pushing it a little bit, but red light therapy. And then crystal healing. You could do crystal healing on yourself. So if you're not already in my course, Crystal Healing for Chronic Illness, or anyone listening is not in that that course that it teaches you exactly how to apply the crystals to your body for self-healing with crystals, vibrational medicine. But the essence of it is like the most simple way, and we've talked about this actually, Lexi, is to place the crystals on the corresponding chakras and just lie down for 10, 20, 30 minutes. Now, I know you're really energy sensitive, so you might just start with your root chakra and some grounding stones on the sacrum area, or even the tops of your thighs or below your feet as this anchor to try a little bit of crystal healing. You could paint. This is the one I haven't been making enough time for this the last couple of years, but I used to paint and draw all the time in my early mid-20s, and it was always just so therapeutic. Now, if that sounds like a task, a chore to you, then it won't be fun, and especially not on a day like that. But if it feels just like expressive and expansive and flowy, it could be really fun for you to do. And just put on some of your sound healing while you're painting and you have your crystals by you. You don't have to push yourself to finish it. You don't have to push yourself to finish any of these things. Just kind of experiment and see what feels okay for you. Sometimes I cook, or at least I'll meal plan, or I'll just like flip through some cookbooks to get inspired on what I'm going to eat that week. So I know I struggle with feeling like I have to always be productive, and that's a way for me to feel productive. Now, again, I don't know if it's the healthiest thing, but it allows me to be like, okay, I don't feel good enough to do really anything today. Maybe I can at least flip through a cookbook and think about what I'm going to meal plan for this week. And if that doesn't work, then I just put it away. And then just ask yourself, what brings you joy? What brings you peace? And infuse more of that in today's like the one you described. And again, come back to the first question I prompted you with, which is, are you feeling like you need to fill that time? And if so, also why? So I hope these were some good ideas for you to try, to play with, to experiment with, and see which ones work and which ones don't, because they might not all be for you, but just lots of suggestions for everyone to get started and not only get the healing benefits, but also allow yourself to just slow down. I'll see you guys soon.